Hey everyone, it's Luke here, and I'm back with my friend Jinho.
Oh, I should do this now, actually.
Yeah. Jinho is obviously, if you've seen before, a big buddy, which is a fan of GFRIEND, and now I guess also a fan of Viviz. BBG, however you're supposed to say it. So obviously we thought it was a good idea to react and discuss their debut. We actually already reacted to it by the time that we're filming this. We're trying something a little bit different. So let us know what you think of this format, kind of a commentary reaction hybrid. Yeah, oh right, yeah. So if you're wondering why Jinho is wearing sunglasses,
well, I'm not used to bright lights, and in my own room I never have like bright lights, and then like the concentrations of light, if you will, that are shining at me, plus the monitor stuff.
I think I'm just used to burning my eyes out a little more. Anyway, we're gonna just get right into the video, so without further ado, let's check it out.
Wait.
Yeah.
Frame buffer.
Alright, so like I said, something a little bit different. We actually have kind of 3 talking points that we have highlighted for this discussion.
Yeah, there was just some like few points we wanted to take a look at before, like, you know, coming into this reaction / commentary, because although this is a debut, or this would be called debut, like it's not like it's not like these people we haven't seen before, and me as a buddy from before. I mean, I'm still their fans, but don't know what to say about this at this point. Like, this is so weird. What am I supposed to say?
It's definitely a unique situation, and it might be a little, I don't want to say controversial to like talk about, but depending on who you are and like what your perspective is, it can be a little touchy. But just so you know, we're coming from a place of good intentions, and we obviously really actually enjoyed this. So you're gonna see that as
you spoiled it.
Kind of just right off the bat, like we don't want to talk too much about GFRIEND, like we just want to get this out of the way at the start. But kind of one of the first things we talked about immediately was, you know, how different or how similar did this feel to the original or traditional GFRIEND vibe.
It's very GFRIEND vibey.
Yeah, it has those vibes, that aesthetic.
Yeah, the way the members have been kind of showing their charms or like appeal and their skills and whatnot throughout their 6 years, I almost want to say, like, of their GFRIEND days.
Yeah.
I think this definitely came out as a positive note. Whatever our descriptions on this is, it's definitely a positive note. I don't think there was anything negative about it in my personal impression.
Yeah, I think they definitely like preserved and like maintained the essence of GFRIEND in kind of both the musicality and just like the energy that they brought to this song.
Yeah, they definitely didn't kill that GFRIEND vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as much as I'm not supposed to mention that name,
but I think it also feels a little more fresh and more representative of the 3 members in this group. At least that's kind of my impression, and we're kind of getting into some of the other talking points.
But my impression on this was just that, at least when this music video first began, I wasn't like, what is this?
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought it was going to be something else, but I like this.
It wasn't totally...
Yeah, I'm usually pretty clear when it comes to that. Whether it's the groups that I like or not, like, I usually have like a strong impression, and that usually shows, I think, at least from previous reaction. I hope it did, I don't know. I wouldn't know.
But yeah, like overall, and we mean this in a good way, like in my mind, it sort of felt like an extension or a subunit of GFRIEND.
Yeah, like what I told him was that it didn't come as an offensive change, and yet, because as what they're doing, this is, like I said earlier, this is technically still a debut.
Yeah.
So if it's a debut, they, in a sense, it kind of comes to me as by saying, oh, like they want to start something new, right? But at the same time, with where they're coming from, it doesn't necessarily ditch everything they had in the past. So I think it kind of, Viviz did a good job in terms of like satisfying both myself as a I'll just say this word, and buddy. Yeah, that's what I am. Yeah, buddy, and whoever they wanna like bring in to their fandom. Like, yeah, I think it didn't go only like one way. That definitely spread out well for both sides of, like, you know, the fandoms, I would say.
To me, it feels a bit like an extension of Mago a little bit. Like,
in a way.
maybe a little more brighter, more pop sounding.
Yeah, Nago was more like, not necessarily, but like sadder.
Yeah.
It's definitely a unique situation. That's why like I'm just trying to like not say anything that might come as like a sensitive stuff or
it's
offensive.
hard to find the right word, but like I said before, we're really coming at this from like a positive perspective. And just to kind of echo what you said, I agree. I think they did a good job of walking that line between, you know, who they used to be and who they want to be without like burning the bridges that they like where they came from. And that kind of, I think, is a good segue into our next point. And kind of they achieved that balance, and that was sort of another point that we wanted to talk about, is did this group feel balanced? Did it feel cohesive? What are your thoughts on that?
Balanced. I think the way I said balance was a little bit different than here, but at the same time, like, so when we say balance, as in, yeah, like he said, it would just kind of mean that we don't feel like voice space, because, you know, when you go from what used to be a larger group to like now a smaller group, depending on how people take it, like, or depending on how things are presented, it might come off to some people as there's like a bit of a missing space.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we're missing some, I almost want to say unique.
Yeah. Like you're missing the kind of unique flavor, or like what makes them special.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they're bringing their flavor to it, to that vibe.
I was worried when I was coming into this about that more than anything, but I'm not actually. I came away, you know, saying, oh wow, like everything feels like solid, everything sounds solid, everything felt solid, everything looks solid.
It felt, I think, more natural than we maybe expected or like thought that it might be.
That's the right word.
Not that I thought it was going to be unnatural, but I think we didn't really know how it would feel. And like another thing that we had talked about was, you know, as a 6-member group, each member kind of had their own roles, and we weren't really sure like where these 3 would fall, you know, as a group themselves. Like
each members have more things to take, right?
Yeah, so like we weren't sure how they would fit into this song, but they all feel like they're bringing, like the 3 of them feel like they're bringing their own, I don't know, like they fit this very well, I think. Like Jinho said, it didn't really feel like things were missing. I think they all brought their own unique energy, their own style, their own vocal.
Speaking about that, actually, we were talking about this off camera game, but when we said the word cohesive, I told Luke that Eunha's voice might pop out more than maybe Shinbi's and Umji's. And my reasoning behind this was not just because of their different like vocal style or anything, or their voice, but it was just more so because of the parts distribution in the past, you know, that I was more used to hearing main vocals versus sub vocals, let's say, right?
Yeah.
Kind of make me think what it would be with the entire members.
It's hard not to think of that for sure.
But with how, I think this actually goes right into the next point. Actually, you know what? I think we should jump right in.
Yeah, no, might as well. It's there. So
So our third point actually was just that like you know, we got to see more Shinbi and more about Umji in terms of vocal.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, yes, in terms of performance, it's not just vocal. There's also like the performance itself, like dance. You know, that's what Shinbi was positioned as, like a main dancer. But I'm personally not the person. I'm personally not the person who usually watches performances all the time. I'm more of an audio person, not audiophile, but I just like to listen to songs rather than watching.
Yeah.
But as a person who does that more often, hearing everyone's voice in a more equal part was definitely a thumbs up for me.
Yeah.
Or Umji.
It's a good wordplay there. It was definitely a welcome change. I think a nice, like fresh new direction for them all to go in. And I feel like we were both impressed by, like you said, the vocal tone, or like the tone of Umji and Shinbi. I think they were able to showcase their vocals more.
And it didn't, like we said earlier, it didn't go as like, you know, it wasn't like some spike point. It was a pretty smooth, you know, transition between, you know, all the members. So that's where the word cohesive also comes into play, I think.
Yeah, it didn't feel like there were any like weak or low points of the song. Not super like a huge climax either, but just like a nice, smooth, like happy listening experience. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have a huge like hook, I guess, but it's very like easygoing.
And again, like, you know, hearing all just three of them this time as BBG, like we felt like this. I think you said the word subunit at one point.
Yeah, like it felt like a transformation of what they were before, and kind of heading in a new direction.
Honestly,
cool.
I don't know why. Like, I didn't come to expect to like this, but then I'm like, oh wait, no, I do.
But yeah, basically it makes me curious to see like what they'll do next, and I hope, like I said, it's the beginning of like a new path for them, a new journey, and I think we'll definitely be keeping an eye on what they do.
Right, at least in terms of these three, you know, deciding to pursue as groups still, which was honestly very welcoming news in my opinion when I first heard about this news.
It almost sounded like too good to be true.
Yeah, like we were like, oh, they're all like signing they're all contracting with the same agency. Okay, but
it's unique, and like you don't usually see like a group like transform into another group, so definitely a good news to see.
That was already a good news, but then again, there was obviously some worries in terms of that, but whatever my worries were, they rocket punched it, like, you know, nicely, such that like I'm not even worried about anymore. And then honestly, yeah, I mean, them just continuing as Viviz continuing as BBG, you know, there's three of them. I think it's gonna be a good combo.
I think they've proven that they're capable of carrying on and moving forward and showcasing new sides of themselves. And yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much sums up like the major points that we wanted to talk about. I feel like we had some other like tiny miscellaneous things, like I was gonna say that,
such as me like, oh my god, OMG, you have more parts. Yeah, I get to hear you more.
Generally, I liked the colors of the video. I liked the vibe of the song. I really like disco retro songs, so this was right up my alley. Yeah, sort of has a retro vibe a little bit. I like the beat. It's really it's fun. It sounded kind of like it could be a side track on an album, but those songs usually stick with us longer.
Well, for me, it depends, but usually I said this in other videos, but I'm the person who goes through their like non-title songs as well. Like I eat the entire list of like an album.
Yeah.
But this kind of sounded to me as more close to the non-title track songs would be. It feels like something that I would expect from like the side non-title songs. If you know
like an album song.
Yeah, but that's actually a good thing in my opinion, because usually it's like I told him before that sometimes like side tracks or non-title tracks do stick in my ears a little bit better. They're more my style, and then this is definitely one of them.
Yeah, I feel like they tend to have more longevity in general.
But sometimes, honestly, like it's a non-title songs that actually stick to me more.
Yeah, exactly.
Longevity plus just it came. I don't know. I don't know how to describe this. It's just my thing, okay.
So yeah, I think that pretty much sums up everything we wanted to discuss today. Obviously, we really want to hear your thoughts about BBG's debut in the comments down below.
Wow, we're actually saying this correct for the first time. Their name for the first time.
I'm just confused about, do I pronounce it the Korean way or the like English romanized, like VVZ or BBG?
So I took a look at it online, like I typed it in Korean and stuff, and then I was like, oh. I was like, I don't know. I thought about it and then I was like, why don't I just add another I at the end? Not every part of the world say Z as Z.
Yeah, we say Z technically.
Yeah.
So,
well, I don't say Z. I'm way too Americanized in terms of that.
I try to say Z. I also just realized the mini album title is Beam of Prism, and the acronym of that would be BOP, which is Bop. So
I just figured
they must have done that on purpose, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so yeah, like I said, that brings us to the end of our video. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments down below, and stay tuned for more videos soon, hopefully.
We'll come back in March.
Yeah, probably.
There's a reason why we're coming back in March.
Stay tuned for that. Alright, so thanks again for watching. Remember to hit like and subscribe down below. Remember to stay awkward, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.